this is Jill Cole again, here with Angela Hapka from Northwestern Benefits to discuss. Now we've been discussing open enrollment, what it's about, the process, and then in Module 2 we discussed your medical benefits, and now this is Module 3, and we're going to be discussing voluntary dental, along with, you've also got life and AD&D that we're going to talk about. So Angela, if you would just tell me a little bit about the dental options they have, because I know there's something new that's being offered this year. So let's hear about that.
Sure. The dental plans will continue to be offered through MetLife, which is a great dental carrier. Great network available throughout the United States. But the great thing is that MedSys wanted to give you an additional option, again, because everybody's different in their needs. So they are adding a high plan option, which offers a little bit richer benefits for a little bit more premium.
Sure.
I do want to point out that MedSys is going to contribute $32 towards the premium for an individual who chooses either the low plan or the high plan.
Okay, and they currently offer the low plan. So
that is correct. Right,
okay.
right. And the low plan, there actually are a few enhancements to the low plan as well.
Okay.
You know, dental works a little bit different than medical,
it is.
as you know, but most services that you get that are preventative, such as getting your teeth cleaned, fluoride treatments, things of that nature, those are going to be covered at 100% if you stay in network with either the high plan or the low plan.
Wonderful.
One enhancement to the low plan is that some services that are now covered are implants, which were never offered as covered services before. Now those will be subject to deductible, which is $50, and that is a calendar year deductible, $50. And then it would be covered 50% cost sharing. So after you pay your $50 deductible, the employee would pay 50% of the remaining charges, and MetLife would pay 50% of the other charges. But other than that, everything pretty much stayed the same with the low plan, with preventive covered at 100%, basic services like fillings, things of that nature covered at 80%, and then your major services covered at 50%.
Wonderful. And if they have any questions on their dental, is that something also that Debbie can help them with?
Yes, absolutely. And again, we encourage you to take advantage of calling Debbie Allen in our office at Northwestern Benefits, who is the dedicated internal service rep, and she can answer questions about any of the benefit offerings that MedSys has, including the dental. That's correct.
Excellent. Okay, so moving on from dental, let's talk a little bit about this awesome option that I've heard about, $50,000 life insurance.
Yes, and you know what, before we do that, I do want to just reiterate that the high plan,
I'm sorry,
is going to cover things at a little bit richer feature, and I didn't really point out what those are, so let me talk a little bit about that. On your low plan, you've got your preventive services at 100%, your basic services at 80%, and your major services at 50%. On your high plan, your preventive is covered at 100% as well, but your basic services are also covered at 100%. So those are things like your fillings, single tooth extractions, things of that nature. So it's a little bit less out of your pocket for things like that. And as we know with dental, there are annual maximums.
There are.
And again, it's not like medical. So the low plan currently has $1,000 annual maximum of what the company, MetLife, will pay out on your behalf. The high plan is a $1,500 annual maximum. So again, a much richer plan for those people that want to pay a little bit more premium. So I just wanted to point that out. Also very important to know that if you are already on the dental plan and you're on the current plan, which we're calling the low plan, you don't need to fill out any paperwork at all. But if you want to add dental for the first time, or you want to switch to the high plan, then you will need to fill out a form, which will be available on Paycom.
So also, one thing I forgot to ask you about too is it says right here the waiting period for late entrance.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about what that means?
That's always important to point out, is that group dental plans give you the ability to come on at a certain time during the year without any waiting periods on dental. So this is the time to do that. If you have not elected dental before, now is the time to do that, because it is open enrollment and there are not any waiting periods on these services that are mentioned. Meaning if I go in and I have to get a crown after June 1st, if I'm on the plan and I'm covered and I enrolled, that will be a covered service. Okay? If in 4 months I realize I need a crown but I've not elected dental, and I go to a vet or I go to someone at MedSys and say I want to enroll in the dental, I can enroll in the dental, but there is going to be a waiting period because I'm a late entrant. And I might be able to get my preventive care done at 100%, but I will have a 2-year waiting period on any sort of crown or thing of that nature. So now's the time to enroll.
Absolutely. And again, if you're on the current plan and you don't want to do anything, you don't want to make any change to the plan, you just leave it as is.
Leave it exactly as is.
That's easy enough.
Very
so
good.
Now moving on to the $50,000. Tell me about that.
$50,000. MedSys is now offering, and as you know, they've kind of been enhancing their benefit packages and they've been offering, a little bit something different to the package for the last couple of months. The group life, this is just an exceptional offering that you know is very important. It is $50,000 basic term life and accidental death and dismemberment for every full-time employee.
Wonderful.
MedSys is covering that premium at 100%. It's no cost. It was actually enforced as of May 1st. So everyone is covered under that. You need to be sure and provide your beneficiary designation form to Yvette if you've not already done so, and that form is available at Paycom, because we do want to make sure that in the event of a death, that money is paid out to the appropriate person.
Okay, now what if $50,000 is a lot of money, it's really nice, but what if I want something more than that? Do I have the opportunity to
You do.
like that?
You do, and again, that's another offering that MedSys said we also want to complement this with additional offerings so that if people want to buy up, they can.
Okay.
So we're offering the voluntary life and AD&D also through MetLife.
Okay, wonderful. So what do they need to do to get that
That's
election?
a great question. The voluntary life is available for an employee, and if an employee opts to purchase voluntary life, he or she can also add coverage for a spouse and or child or children.
Okay.
So if they want to do that, again, there is paperwork on the Paycom website that they will need to complete.
Okay.
The great thing about the initial offering now with MedSys is that there's something called guarantee issue, and you probably know a little bit about guarantee issue. We know the benefit of guarantee issue. It means that even if you might have health issues, because this is a group-sponsored plan, that initial offering, you're going to get to come on at a guaranteed issue amount as long as you answer no to a hospitalization question. And the question is, have you been hospitalized within the last 90 days? And if that answer is no, then you can receive the guarantee issue amount, which for an individual employee is $100,000, which is a pretty significant amount.
It is. And that would be in addition to my $50,000?
That would be in addition to the $50,000. That's a great question. Okay. So you would get that at the guarantee issue. Of course, you can always buy more.
Okay.
You may just have to answer a statement of health and answer additional questions, which that form is also available on Paycom.
So what is the maximum amount that I could possibly
The maximum amount that you can get is the lesser of 5 times your annual earnings or $500,000.
Okay, so if I want up to $500,000, I'm probably going to have to get my physician maybe to fill out something or answer some questions?
More than likely. I mean, if you're very healthy and you can answer no to all of the questions on the statement of health, you probably will go through the approval process. They won't ask for medical records and they won't ask for a paramed. However, if you answer yes to a few questions, they may even schedule a paramed.
Okay.
And a paramed is simply when someone comes to your office or home and they take blood and they may ask you a few more questions. But again, keep in mind that this process is a little less stringent than if you go out and get a private policy. So it really doesn't hurt you, even if you have a few bumps and bruises on your medical, to try and obtain life insurance through this offering, because there's some flexibility because it's a group plan.
Now, would my spouse or my child be subject to?
Yes, the spouse and the child. The children, there's you don't have to worry about that, and they've got options of $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, $5,000, or $10,000,
okay.
And they're a guarantee issue. But for your spouse, he or she can have up to $25,000 guarantee issue.
And can they have any more than that?
Yes, if he or she wants to get more, then they certainly can, and they would just be subject to the statement of health.
Okay. Okay. We've learned so much about this. Is there anything else that we need to know about the voluntary life?
I think there's a few more things. One of the most important things is that, again, this is a new offering from MedSys, which means with any group insurance product like this, you typically have to have a certain participation to basically launch the product. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware that we do need a minimum participation, which is about 10 people to elect the voluntary life, whether the guarantee issue or amount above that. And then everyone who elects that, it will be in place as of June 1st. I don't think we're going to have any problem reaching participation, but we want to make sure people know that that is a clause in getting that particular benefit.
And Angela, can you tell me, did these plans have any type of enhancements or extra benefit features that we may not be aware of right offhand?
Yes, actually, that was another real value to bringing this to the MedSys team members, is that there are several value-added services available just by participating in the voluntary life. For example, there's a will preparation service. It's a service where you can deal with an attorney on preparing a full, thorough will. This is not just a template will. This is something where you contact an attorney within a certain group of attorneys, and they will help you construct a will and the different components of the will, and it's at no cost to you, as long as it is within the guidelines of what they typically create. So that's one service. There's also a great travel assist service that is available to you if you're traveling outside of the country. If you need assistance in trying to find,